Let me say this about Odell Beckham Jr. Legend? Legendary? John, look at me for a second, talking to my producer extraordinaire here. What am I missing? Odell Beckham Jr. has been in the National Football League for 5 years. His fourth year, 2017, he only played 4 games. We know about that injury against the Los Angeles Chargers. We got it. I want to be very, very clear that as a talent, Odell Beckham Jr. is sensational. As a talent, he's one of the elite receivers in the game. When you think about Odell Beckham Jr., you think about Antonio Brown, you think about Julio Jones, you think about DeAndre Hopkins, you think about all of these guys that are elite at their craft at the receiver position. Odell Beckham Jr., as a talent, deserves to be in the conversation with any of those guys. And personally speaking, I like Odell Beckham Jr. Personally speaking, I think he's gotten a bad rap. Personally speaking, I've been on record saying I think people have completely and totally and utterly overreacted to his antics. You got people talking about good riddance. You got people talking about, about time. He just never got it. Never got what? He didn't get arrested. He didn't break any laws. He didn't get in any trouble. Not a picture with the girl in France that had some white powdery substance. Clearly just finished being in bed with him while he was eating some pizza. Okay, that was kind of suspect. But there's no evidence there. There's no concrete proof to convict Odell Beckham Jr. You pull him aside, you say it's a bad look, but it wasn't anything he did based on what we saw visually. He was eating pizza. I guess John re-energizing himself. And one can make the argument that the recreational activity that she was involved in was a little bit different for him. Let's just put it like that. He was involved in a different form of recreational activity. That wasn't him. That was her with that white powdery substance. So basically, off of that, John, off of that, all of you listeners out there, what you got? What did Odell Beckham Jr. do exactly? He was on the sideline screaming at himself. He was engaging in some form of histrionics because he got tired of running routes and being wide open and watching Eli Manning seem incapable of getting the ball to him. He throwing his helmet at the net and the net smacking him upside his head. What exactly did he do? John, to your knowledge, in Odell Beckham Jr.'s 5 years, did he ever miss a game due to any suspensions? Never. I think other than a beef with Josh Norman on the field. That was about it. And I'm not even sure, was that a suspension or a fine? I don't recall. But I think it was a suspension. Maybe it wasn't. Here's my point. For the most part, in Odell Beckham Jr.'s career, he's been there. Liked by his teammates, if not loved. Universally recognized as an incredibly hard worker. What'd he do? So this notion that he had to go, I'm sorry, I disagree with that. But having said that, let me say this. What's all the talk about legend? What am I missing, John? What's all the talk about a legend? Ladies and gentlemen, legends are made in the postseason. Odell Beckham Jr. has one appearance on his resume. It was one game. He was targeted 11 times. He caught 4 passes for 28 yards, dropped 3 of them against Green Bay at Lambeau Field. It's the frozen tundra. I get that. I'm going to sit up there and give him somewhat of a pass for that because, damn it, cold weather could affect a lot of people. It's just the truth. I'm not making excuses. I'm just giving you facts. When the football feels like a cold sheet of rocks or bricks, sometimes you might not catch a pass. No excuse, just reality. But 4 receptions for 28 yards, targeted 11 times, dropped 3 passes of the 7 that you missed out on totally. That is not exactly the most auspicious performance. So we understand that about Odell Beckham Jr. But what is all of this stuff about legend? If you're listening someplace, Odell Beckham Jr., mad love and respect for you, my brother. You're big time. But legends are made in the postseason. Legends are made in the postseason. We don't rave about Jerry Rice because of what he did in the regular season. We don't rave about Terrell Owens because of what he did in the regular season. We don't just rave about Chris Carter and others because of what they did in the regular season. It matters, it counts, but not as much as what you do in the postseason. That's where your bread is buttered in terms of your legend. So all of this talk about legendary, we have no evidence of that. There's no evidence of that. That's the reality of the situation. That's the stuff that we got to pay attention to. And I want to venture to a particular subject because I'm not even getting on Odell Beckham Jr. or any athlete for that matter. You know what I'm getting on? I'm getting on you as the public. I'm calling y'all out now, not myself. I would usually throw myself in the mix with you, but not on this note. Because this is where I'm very, very consistent. The competition you faced and the moment you're called upon to be a high-end producer counts. And as far as I'm concerned, America, as far as I'm concerned, sports world, we have regressed to a point where we have let folks off the hook. I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want to disrespect anybody. And I'm not going to mention any names because I'm all for athletes getting paid. And I don't want to be in anybody's pocket taking money out of it. You can market yourself and brand yourself to a point where you're able to make money off the court or field of play. More power to you. I'm not knocking the athletes. I'm knocking Madison Avenue willingness to pay folks who haven't won and haven't produced when it counts most.